it's easy to blame other people, to blame the other person, but it is not until we start to believe that we are worth more and that we won't accept the abuse any longer that things can start to change.
Welcome back to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where everyday people share the quotes that have shaped their lives, inviting us all to reflect and grow together. Today we're joined by Amanda J. Scott, an inspiring author and advocate for those healing from domestic, financial, and emotional abuse. After bravely escaping a 17-year abusive marriage, Amanda now dedicates her life to helping others reclaim their words and find hope for a brighter future. Let's take a moment to step into Amanda's journey and discover the wisdom that has guided her along the way. Tell me your name and what you do.
I'm Amanda J. Scott. I'm an author, and I work with people who have experienced or are experiencing abuse. And I support them to gently heal what's been broken, make positive decisions in their lives, and rebuild their self-belief. I know about this through my own journey. After spending 17 years in an abusive marriage, my journey to freedom started when I realized that I couldn't do it anymore and that I wanted a better life, and I was worthy of being treated with respect. And I wanted a better life for myself and for my children. So I've recently captured my journey to freedom in a book called Finding My Way Back to Me. And
Okay.
I wanted to share my story because I believe that we all deserve the opportunity to heal and move on from an abusive situation.
Yeah, thank you, Amanda, for accepting my
Yeah.
invitation to be on the podcast. What's
Lovely,
your
thank you.
favorite quote?
For abuse to stop, start believing in yourself and know your self-worth.
Wow, okay. I
I think that's
everything
important.
you've said so far, it's simple, right? Like
Mm,
in terms of simplicity, I mean the words in the quotes, they are simple
mm.
to
Yes.
understand. But I would love for you to like really explain what you mean. What is abuse, right? So that I know most people they have an idea of what abuse is, but can you like really explain it so that it's easy for people to say, okay, no, this is abuse without missing words.
Well, the alarm bells, the signs of abuse are really are different. They're not exactly the same, but they broadly present as a total lack of power in the situation, where the other partner or the other person has all the control. So in my case, if you'd asked me, in my situation, you'd have looked at my situation and said, yeah, well, you're never treated as an equal and your opinion doesn't count. You are shamed regularly for being stupid, incompetent, and a bad mother. You are made to feel as though everything is your fault. You have little to no access of money and need to ask for every cent, which means you can be cut off and you can be left with nothing at any time. You're responsible for the debts you didn't agree to. Also, another one is that you are denied regular access to friends and shamed for having contact with anybody else outside the house. You do all the work around the house. You look after the children and you go to the family business and perhaps work there. And you're still told that you don't contribute and you're lazy, stupid, and responsible for anything going wrong in that. Yeah. And also you have the lowest status in the house behind the children and the dog. So those are some signs.
Whoa, wow, wow. Thanks for sharing those signs. Now, the signs are different, right? Depending on the type of abuse that's happening, right? I know there's several types of abuse. There's sexual abuse, there's financial abuse. There's so many,
Mm?
right? You're the experts. Yeah. But is there a statement or frame? What's the word now? A framework one could use. So, despite the context of the abuse, when we see
I'm sorry,
something that
you've
reflects.
just broken up a little bit. I didn't quite hear the question you're asking.
Yeah, I was saying, Is there a definition or a quote, not quote necessary, but an explanation, a framework we could use? So despite the context, because, some persons might have listened to the signs you gave to, but there are other signs, right, that for time's sake, you will not be able to mention and go into. But is there a way to say, once you see any sign that reflects this framework, this definition, this explanation, then it's abuse?
Well, I think it's anything that actually diminishes your self-esteem is abuse.
Oh, anything that actually diminishes your self-esteem, it's abuse. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we go further, right? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're about adding to it.
Well, and also there is a hidden abuse. A lot of abuse is hidden, but you see, when we think of domestic abuse, it often brings up pictures of physical violence. But there is an insidious form of control, and it's destroying lives in silence. And that's financial abuse.
Yeah.
And this hidden form, is, it impacts. Here in Australia, it impacts 1 in 4 people, and it strips them of their independence, their security, and their ability to actually escape the situation. So the emotional and social consequences of financial abuse remain unseen and unaddressed. And many survivors, like I was, suffer in silence due to the lack of resources and fear of judgment. So research shows that it does impact women more, and it manifests in ways that are alarmingly common. Financial abuse, So it's quite a hidden issue here in Australia.
Yeah. And the quote you said, for abuse to stop, the second part of the quote is believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
What does it mean to believe in yourself, right?
Well,
I mean, something I could say, I
self-belief
believe in
is the
myself, but
start
what does that
to
mean?
changing everything in your world. It's an easy thing, but it's easy to blame other people, to blame the other person. But it is not until we start to believe that we are worth more and that we won't accept the abuse any longer that things can start to change. I think the connection wasn't. I don't know what happened. I don't know whether it's Australia is our side. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because for me, this is my off-peak period, and I went to do my internet speed test right now, and what I'm seeing is pretty good. So I don't know where the issue is coming from. Okay.
No, never mind.
Yeah, you were saying, however, everything is being recorded in high quality. It's just that having a conversation with the internet, that's the only thing that might be affected. Yeah.
Yes.
You were talking about
I can hear you
financial.
now.
Yeah, you were talking about financial abuse when the internet's like cut off.
Yes, well, studies here at the UNSW, the university here in Sydney, have shown that the biggest problem is the hidden nature of financial abuse. And that and even now, because we do not have a clear definition of what economic abuse is, there aren't any consistent or accurate measures. So that's the thing. And the other factor that makes it challenging is the gendered nature of managing the family finances. And that for financial abuse to be identified, the victims must identify as as having been abused.
Yeah. And that's quite difficult most of the times.
Yes.
Yeah. Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself. Yeah, because when I was in the marriage and when I experienced it for a long time, I didn't realize that what I lived with was abuse. I thought, yes.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
And I think this is what happens. We don't realize. We think it's normal.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And so because you think it's normal. You don't like how do it's like normal things that are happening, right? Like if I'm trying to like connect to the internet, right? For my very first time, I've never used the internet, and guess what? The videos are blurry, the stuff is merging and everything, and the internet is really terrible. I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, this stuff that's the way the stuff is, right? And I don't know. Well, if I've used a really good internet and I'm having a good communication, when the stuff is doing, I'm like, oh no, the internet is
Yes.
bad. Where's this coming
Yeah.
from, right?
Yes.
But if I've never like seen what good internet looks like or feels like, I'm like, oh, that's the way it is. This video stuff, that's it's the stuff. That's the way the connection issue is.
Well, you don't realize, do you? You don't realize what is there, and you no longer have a point of reference. So when you
Yeah,
no longer have a point of reference as to what dignity and respect is, then you end up making that become the normal. So it's normal to be yelled at, and it's normal to be told you're stupid, and it's normal never to make, the decisions or be consulted on any decisions. But
yeah,
yet the deeper answer as to why you tolerate it is because you become you grown to believe that you deserve to be treated that way
yeah.
in a way.
One of
Mm,
the core parts of the quote that I just really like is know your self-worth. That last part, know your
yeah,
self-worth. Now I know
that's
that
right.
in this context of this conversation, you're talking about what's the word? I'm trying to think of a word for the type of abuse you're talking about right now. By the examples you're giving, what's the word? You help me out here.
I think, well, emotional abuse starts. Well, for me, it was, in my case, it was the emotional abuse
Okay,
that enabled the financial abuse.
okay.
Mm.
Yeah. This is I'll paint a picture of what I'm trying to do here, so you understand, right? In the context of in your own context, right? It was in the abuse was happening in the marriage, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's a type of okay. If we're classifying based on where the abuse happens, that's a type of abuse. Now there are
Mm.
also other types of abuse where it happens between teachers and students. That's a type of
Abs.
abuse, right?
Yes.
There's also
Hmm.
coaches and players. It happens. That's a type of abuse, right? And so
Yes.
there are various types of abuse, but in this context, is marriage abuse. But for me, I'm really interested in abuse in general, right? Not just
Yes.
marriage, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yes.
yeah.
It
Okay.
happens. That's right. And that's why it's so important to know your worth, to be able to say no. It's
Yeah.
important to say, if it's not right, no.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah, let's take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation and want more thought-provoking ideas straight to your inbox, join the Relatable Wisdom email list. It's free, quick, and filled with bite-sized insights, inspiring quotes, and behind-the-scenes reflections from our guests. Just head to relatablewisdom.com/join. That is relatablewisdom.com/join, or tap the link in the show notes. And hey, subscribing to the podcast helps more than you think, and it's free. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button wherever you're listening. All right, let's get back to the conversation. I'm curious, how would one go about knowing their self-worth?
I think first of all, you need to start looking after yourself and putting yourself number one.
I
I
think
think
I
is
do.
start taking care of yourself and putting yourself as number one, because we instinctively know when something's not right. We can feel
Yeah,
it. Yeah, we just know, we've got that gut feeling. We can feel it. We know whether it's good because we just, oh yeah, that feels good, I'm going to do that. So we have that where our bodies are already have that mechanism where we know when things are right and when they're not. It's like crossing the road. When we cross the road, we're not scared about crossing the road. No, we walk across the road in a calm way. And if there's something going too fast, no, we stand back, but we do it. So we trust, and it's about trusting and listening to your gut feelings,
yeah,
and being
yeah,
and being able to say no when it doesn't feel right. Those warnings are very, very important. Yes. And you get that not just in marriages, at work or with friends, different areas of your life, but to listen to
yeah,
them. Yeah. To listen
yeah.
to them.
I've noticed that it's easier for people to tell when someone else is abused versus for them to say, "Oh, yeah, I'm being abused right now. Like I should say no to that, right?" Because there's this. If I was to consider myself as someone else, right, and then I see that, oh, I'm like, I mean, the way he's talking to that guy or that lady, that's not a proper way to talk to someone. But when it's me, when it's yourself, right, it's different. Like the lens in which you see the things, they're different. Most of the times, there are things that if it was someone else, you won't take it from. You won't. You quickly say no. That's the wrong thing. But if it's you, it's, I don't know, for some reason, maybe familiarity and all that, you don't see it like there's an issue. And back to the same thing you talked about, that most people don't even know that they're being abused.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No. That's why it's important to always be in your own strength. Listen to your own body, and know what values you carry. Love and kindness, and if it's not there, then it's really about stepping up and following what's right for you. Not living in an environment that isn't you. It's not you. You're being told that you're stupid. Isn't loving or kind. It isn't. No.
Yeah.
So I think it's important. But listening to your gut feelings is one thing of moving forward and how to move forward. Yeah. But we often, well, in relationships and marriages, we often want to stay for the children. But then what happens is the children is taught that love equals abuse. And one of my primary motivations for leaving the marriage was to show my children the importance of self-respect.
Yeah. Is it the thing that grieves me right now is the fact that most people don't know that they are being abused. And so it's if for you came to the realization that, oh, something isn't right here. This is not proper. This is not nice. And so you sought ways to say, okay, I need to take a step. I need to. But most persons, it's the normal, to tell them that, oh, you're stupid, and they're like, yeah, I
Sorry,
am
your
stupid,
connection's going off again.
and that's like, I'm wondering how
Sorry,
can we?
your connection has been going off.
Oh yeah. So I was saying that it grieves me that most people don't know that they're being abused.
They don't, and it took me 17 years, so that's a long time.
Yeah.
17 years. But then you realize that, yes, I couldn't take it anymore. And that I realized that I wanted a better life. So sometimes it does take you a long time because you think it's a normal. But that's why it's important to have a good network of people. You don't need many people, but if you've got one good friend who can talk to you and you can talk to them, and you realize then, well, yes, it isn't normal, because sometimes you think this is what every marriage is like. This is how everybody behaves in the office, or, it can happen, abuse in every area. So until we realize, no, it is not normal. It's normal to be treated with love, kindness, and respect.
Yeah.
That's the only, because it takes a while. It's not easy to leave an abusive marriage.
Yeah, you did mention
but it's
something
worth it.
In the pre-interview. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
You did mention something
Yes?
in the you did mention something in the pre-interview, and that you had a book called Finding Your Way.
Yes, Finding My Way Back to Me. That's
right. Okay, would you be kind enough to read an excerpt from the book, maybe a paragraph or two?
Oh, I haven't got one there. But what I will say is my journey to freedom, it started after I went for a walk in the park with a friend. And returning from the walk, I found 12 missed calls on my phone from my husband. I was terrified. I thought something had happened. I called him. Where are you? Where have you been? I've been calling you and you haven't been answering your phone. I've been waiting here for my lunch. Well, this conversation was the beginning of the end. I had been lied to, financially abused, and told that I was worthless. So this journey wasn't easy, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's usually I like for authors to like show. Do you have a physical copy of the book?
Yes. Well, you will find the book on the website. On my website, and if you go to my
but
website, you can
but
find yeah,
I like to plug it in the video. I like people to see this. Like, if you could
the
just hold
actual
it,
book.
yeah, for us to just see. Like, I know they can find it on the website, but it's like it's when they can just see it, like you just show it, and it gets a way to it
Well,
works in a
that's a
way.
good idea. It's a good idea. It's a
Is it
fabulous
with you there?
idea. But I
Is
haven't
it?
got a book here that I can actually give to you
No. I mean it. I mean
and show
technically,
you the copy. But if you go to my website, you will see the picture of the book. And there's
okay.
a
So
lot of other information there. There's some
what's
fabulous learnings.
what's the
And
name of your website?
AmandaJScott.com. So it's
Okay.
www.amandajscott.com.
Okay. So where would I see? Okay.
And
latest
there
book.
are, sorry?
Okay, I'll show you what I'm seeing so you can see what I'm talking about.
Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, it just grieves me that you couldn't show us a physical book. Okay,
Well,
so
there
this
it is.
This is the book.
And people are looking on the website now. That's fabulous. And those are all the platforms it's sold on. And it is a easy, quick read. But it's a powerful reminder that we all deserve to be treated with kindness and respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
So
It's a quick read because
yeah.
I think it's good because, yeah.
Wherever you're listening, to my listeners out there, to wherever you're listening, you can find the book on wherever you get books from. Amazon, Barnes Nobles,
Amazon, yes.
and all the place, Walmart, and
yeah, absolutely,
etc. etc.
Yeah,
it's called Finding My Way Back to Me by Amanda J. Scott. Okay, how I found the courage to free myself after 17 years in an abusive marriage.
Because the situation I was in had nothing to do with my behavior, what I did or what I didn't do. It was simply because my husband was a deeply insecure man that needed absolute control. And because of my self-worth, lack of self-worth, I chose to accept it rather than question it. So when you've been abused for a long time, you keep on accepting it, even though you know you shouldn't.
Yeah. I want you to do something for my listeners, and that is to the past you 17 years ago. No, okay, I wouldn't really say 17 years ago because you've added years after making that step, so it's more than 17 years. But you at the beginning of that 17 years when where you were in that abusive marriage, what advice would you wish someone had given to you, like at year one or maybe like or probably year zero? And I want you to give that advice to my listeners.
Well, I think real love doesn't look like or feel like control. I mean, it took me years to understand that if it feels like control, it is. Another one is about listening. Listen to your gut feelings and don't talk yourself out of your own intuition to avoid making the hard decisions that'll move your life forward.
Yeah.
And stop feeling the blame or the shame for things that aren't your fault. And don't ever justify being treated with a lack of respect, because disrespectful behavior is always going to be disrespectful behavior, regardless of the why.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that advice with me and my listeners. Where can people learn more about you and your book?
Yes, on the website, and you can also on the website
Could you call out the website?
AmandaJScott.com.
Okay.
And they can receive blog updates on healing from abuse. So they might gently, there's information on there to help them move forward and to help them with their own personal growth and journey.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Amanda. It's been an absolute delight chatting with you.
Oh, it's wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And thank you, listeners. It's been lovely. And wish you all the very best, everyone out there.
Thanks for listening to Relatable Wisdom. If you found something meaningful in this episode, make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. If you'd like to support the show, you can do that by buying me a coffee. The link is in the show notes. Every little bit keeps the conversations going. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep growing.